Hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on the time zone. We are here live with Rock Dance Theater and our, previously named 33 Minutes with Anna Achimowicz, the stage talk. I am your humble ghost, Anna. And humble ghost, this is a good start. My guest was going to love this, really. But you know what? A lot of prep goes into this. We do wing it. It's completely unscripted and unrehearsed. And that's what it's supposed to be. Anyway. Whoever wants to join in and have a little bit of fun and entertainment about the art, talking metal, talking rock, talking fashion, photography, hell, anything that is kind of on board with Rock Dance Theater and what we all do, there we go. This is it. So I want to introduce my guest already. I'm excited for you guys to actually know who that is. And Decaydead is the mysterious guest for tonight. Anyone that has seen his work knows what it's all about, but today we're going to learn a little bit more from the backstage side of things. So without further ado, I bring to you into the studio Argus Dorian, the man himself.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Argus. Good.
Hello to the world.
You are so safe and sane, right? Like doing everything as we should these days.
Yes,
how
I'm
you
super
been?
safe. I'm fine. Everything fine.
All right. You have an interesting office setup. I mean, aside of computers and mics and pretty much everything that is life has became right now, you have a bunch of skulls. That's pretty cool. Tell us what's that about.
I'm ready about the post-apocalyptic science.
Yeah, this is funny because this is the most as who's in? Let's see, Steve Stone. Hey, Steve. That's cool. I see already people joining us.
Hello,
so yeah, by the way, this is Argus and me today in the show. But if anyone wants to just to say, hey, come on over, throw in a comment, that's totally the option. We're going to throw the link soon enough and you can just do that. But yeah, I saw the promo that you did for the episode, and thank you so much for doing that. That's really cool. We want to get a little bit bigger, with talking about stuff. And since we cannot be practically on stage, I figured it's good to bring rock dance and a cool guest like you, for example.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nothing to thank. This is going to be fun or a total disaster soon enough. I swear to God. I already feel it.
We can drink for this.
We can do what?
Drink.
Yeah, toast. A hangout, with water or coffee.
Because, okay, let's be humans now. Too hot
there
here.
You go.
Okay, cheers.
Okay, that's the proper way to do it. So cheers, everybody. Hope everyone is safe and sane in your homes, in your home offices, like myself.
Yes, and me too. I always stay inside.
Yeah, we all hunker down, we're all kind of grounded. This is the beauty of it. But you know what? At the same time, I figured if we cannot do what we do out there, we might as well talk about it. We might as well say what's exciting. Tell us a little bit more about where the hell did the darkness come from? I figured I need to wear something, proper for this episode since it's a post-apocalyptic edition. So yeah, tell us...
Okay, it's all started
what happened?
What happened? Yes, it's all started when I was young, because my father used to play rock music, play the guitar as a hobby, of course, and my mother used to draw. So I combined those two. I was drawing till since I remember myself, I was drawing, and when I was 6 years old, my father told me, "Come, I want to see a movie with you." So he showed me Pink Floyd, The Wall, and he explained me all the graphics. I was shocked, of course, because imagine this movie with war, with blood, with everything. Yeah. And my father sit beside me and explain me all the meanings, all the symbols.
He broke it down.
So I was very amazed with this. And since then I started to listen, of course, to rock music. Then in the high school, of course, I started to listen to Iron Maiden. And then I saw the draws of Derek Rings. I fall in love with him. Nice. Not personally, with his heart. And so I started to draw.
What made me already kind of think, like, what was it that kind of shocked you kind of the most in the Pink Floyd movie? Because like, how old were you then when?
Six.
6. Wow, that's funny. That's one thing that we do have in common, starting off early, I guess, in the business. Yeah, small kid.
Yeah,
Nice.
small kid.
So what comes through your mind of a 6-year-old then?
Well, I already saw the movie many times, but that when the bird was flying and the crosses,
Gotcha.
the British flag became a cross, and the blood was dripping. I don't remember the word. Anyway, this picture was in my mind. And since then, of course, my father raised me with Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd, The Purple. So he has a collection of vinyl records. So I saw all the covers, and I love this kind of art. Then when I grow up, as I told you, I find Iron Maiden. I saw the covers. I enjoy this art. Also,
they have killer covers, by the way. If anyone doesn't know what Iron Maiden is, you gotta catch up, man. It's just ridiculously good.
Also, I discover Giger. Okay, respect. He's my god. I started to study his art, his work, and they. Hello. I know them. Anyway.
Thanks for tuning in. Awesome.
Great. So I started to copy his art, to find, and of course, to find my own style. What else do you want to know?
Man, I don't really know where to start, but like, let's give a little bit of context to this. We actually, this is funny, and I always love to do these kind of intros where we know each other, but we know each other from our work. We haven't worked with each other in real life, but you did do a fantastic photography manipulation of one of my works, one of my post-apocalyptic rock dance theater shows, and you did showcase it as the war in the apocalypse. Yes. It was like a duo shoot, male and female, and I was like strangled pretty much, you know.
Yes, I made the story.
Pulling out, and, you know.
It was a great photo.
It was good, yeah. By the way, huge shout out to if anyone is interested, guys, you can look up this link on Instagram. I promise to throw all of this stuff that we're talking, because we're talking visual arts, you know, we're talking graphic design, and Argus is a fantastic, I gotta say this, you know, out there, graphic designer. He does these dark manipulations. So if you have kind of a regular photo, which, well, to begin with, what is a regular photo? That's a huge
this is a huge discussion, yes, because many people send me photos, but they shoot it from mobile, and they don't pose like I want. So better, if you want to send me something, discuss with me.
There's a chance to do that. Yes.
Yeah, you can discuss with me what is the concept that we want to make, and also I have this talent. Say, when I see a photo, I know exactly what I want to do with it.
Nice. So it's kind of, you already see the vision and the direction where you want to
When you send me your photos, I almost see, okay, this is war. This is war between an assassin and a hunter. Of course, the assassin is losing, but in the end, assassins win, of course.
Right.
But I'm waiting for the next photo, so I will make it.
You know what? To be honest, it's all about storytelling. Like us creators, like quote unquote, whatever that means. It's pretty much all about using our own medium, whatever that might be, you know, playing guitar, using physical theater, using photography, using graphic design, as you do, for example, to kind of manifest what's in here, you know, up in the crazy mind, or in the heart, or in the gut, like what's inside of you, and just, you know, you bring it out there. And that's kind of your way to communicate with the world. What I personally can tell you, and I can tell all of you listeners, all of you guys tuning in with us at the Rock Dance Theater Live right now with Argus Dorian. Hello, everybody, if everyone is joining just right now, this moment. Yeah, for me, pretty much, it's always interesting how you kind of figure out your own way to manifest, in a way, the insanity, you know what I mean? Because it always comes from so many places. And if you tell me you started at age 6 because you saw Pink Floyd, man, like my beginnings were weird too. And to be honest, right now the history has changed. So to give a little bit of context to that, also Argus does a very interesting support of the visual work, because you literally write down stories, like a small script, a small backside to it. I don't want to say a lyric.
I will talk about it. I will talk about it.
Literally, yeah. So let's tap into that. It's literally for me a little bit being in the performing arts, like opening, an album, and you have the cover and you have the intro of the story, like the whole concept of the album, so to speak. And yeah, that's kind of what you do. Tell us a little bit more about that. Where did that come from to describe what people see as well?
Well, if you scroll down my whole gallery in Instagram, you will see that I started to make a grid wall with story. Right. All started from pollution, because I was thinking, what is my main problem? For example, I was working in Greenpeace for many years. And I always care about the environment, about people, about animals, and how to make the world better. So, because I know what dark art I like to create, I want to shock them. Hello, Dante.
Hey, Dante.
Yeah, this is my face.
Dante has been just shocked.
Yeah.
Literally by both of us.
So I was thinking what to do to shock people and to send them a message about pollution. So I started a story. What will happen if we continue polluting our planet? And this is the steps where I started. Thanks, man. Well, so I started a story, creating a grid. All the steps. If you see, my first step is chapter 1, pollution. Then chapter 2, the change. People are getting insane because they are getting crazy for pollution, etc., etc. Yeah. And then we start to changing. We show our aggressive side, and people are starting to divide in hunters, assassins, etc., etc. And you can see the story. And then one day, I met a guy, a follower, sent me, "Whoa, you have a great storytelling here. Let's make it a book." Because I was thinking that one day I want to make it a book. So he's Johnny, you know him from Instagram. He's a dark artist too. I follow. He's more gore than me. He manipulates all his photos and I respect him. He's great. You
can go always more gore. I mean, there's never enough artificial blood and you guts and just living anatomy.
Yes, he only used his mobile. Only his mobile to make all the manipulations. He don't have a computer. So we were talking. Okay, let's meet. And because he's from Greece, I didn't know. Also, he didn't know that I'm from Greece. We met, we talk about it, and we make the book. The book is basically describing all my history. It's about all the stages, but in a different way. I have a promo you can download. I can send a link later. You can download some chapters to read, and you will understand.
Yeah, we're gonna throw all of that on. Pretty much, you can all find it on the main handle of Argus Dorian. But of course, after we do this live right now, I'm gonna do the re-edit. So I'm gonna add a couple of images also, and all of the links in the comments that guys can be able to find.
Blur my face.
All right, we'll be sure to do that. It's gonna be literally, like bloop, disappearing somewhere. Exactly. Nah, come on, come back. I know it's literally a post-apocalyptic time, but man, like, to be honest, I was laughing. Kind of, my black humor kicked in because, hell, we're all in the same situation right now. Exactly. We kind of need to learn how to cope with it, make the most of it, make the most creative time with it. So I was literally laughing, spending my whole last year pretty much on a tour that was very much post-apocalyptic, working with fashion designers in trash and upcycling fashion, performing around festivals. As the photo shoot that came from that was Cobra Rebels, a photographer from Spain. Shout out to you if you are watching. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Cobra? And yeah, like, to be honest, this is not what I signed up for when I kind of got inspired with this whole post-apocalyptic dark side of things. Yeah, so it's just like unreal that you're wearing a mask not for a photo shoot. Like, all of a sudden you freaking just need that. But as we said in the backstage studio, we are not talking about the C word anywhere. This is a safe place to kind of work with with good things and talk about art and positive creation, however dark it might be.
And how you decide to make this channel, and why
this channel?
Yes, channel.
It's actually quite funny because it was never meant to be. Oh, did I? Is there really anything surprising these days online? Like everything is there, from cooking central, to
yes, but I don't like to appear on camera.
It's all been done. To be honest, for me, it was something I've put together super unofficially. I started like on early Instagram doing these like backstage kind of stories. Hey guys, I'm in Vienna. This is the backstage. This is the boots I'm wearing tonight at the show. Stuff like that, to kind of show a different side of the things. Normally something that people do not see if they go to a performance or to a concert. It's the backside of things. And if you talk about it, of course, my body is the main kind of instrument to communicate. But throughout the years, I think I've went pretty much developed a skill about to actually talk about these things and what I do. And I figured it would be really fun to capture all of these stories about not only what I do, but also along with people that I can interview and talk about with, like yourself. And a couple of years back, it actually started as 33 minutes with Anna Achimowicz, the stage talk, I called it. And the first episode, trust you me, I do have on mini DV tape still. That says how old I am. It's still like a previous technology, it's not live stream whatsoever. It hasn't been back then. So the first episodes I did was I've interviewed Johannes Randolph, a close friend of mine, a choreographer and a performer, back in Austria. Then we had Bettina Scheffer on the show, principal dancer of the New York City Ballet. And, a couple of episodes later, all of a sudden, I do have photographers and graphic designers such as yourself. So, the spectrum broadens. It doesn't come down to stage and to a stage talk, but also, photography that captures all of these things. So I'm super grateful that you came on. It's really fun to have you, by the way. For all of the people joining just now, please meet Argus Dorian. You are tuning in our live stream Rock Dance Theater art meetings. Should I change the name?
Two people want to join.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I sent them the link. So
yeah, make them come on. Absolutely. I don't see them in the broadcast studio, but if anyone wants to join, guys. This is this is the stream link. This is not what we want. This is the invite. This is what I wanted to do. As I say, this is unscripted completely. We're going on live, so no re-edits. I'm sorry. The whole world is watching, and this is our main stage right now.
Then you will add retouche, the blood here, black eyes, and etc. Make
yeah, I know, right? It's gonna happen. I'm gonna style myself up for the next episode. I promise. I figured, hell, I'm talking to the master of dark manipulation. So hey, I cannot be wearing a pajamas. Come on, it's like.
Why not? We can make an episode. I will dress like Hello Kitty in pink.
I know, right? Dante's laughing along with us. No, because you know what? The reality of the thing right now with this C situation, this is all of performing that I get this month. Pretty much a monitor and this is our show. I'm not going to go on stage anytime soon, tomorrow or the day after. So, this is a cool version as well. The world has gotten small because of it.
Exactly. And we have to use this time in order to be creative, because many people, we are talking also on Instagram and on social generally, you did. Yo, man, text me.
So text me. We love Maiden as well. Shout out to Maiden and also to the girls, the Iron Maidens that have been here in Europe just a year ago, a little bit. It was, I think, January. It was a super fun time. They toured Warsaw and Berlin. And right now, I was just watching the other day what's happening with the tours being pushed back and everything. But, like dates are being announced. Even I almost forgot the name of my tour coming up, and it's going to be the post-apocalyptic one that you're going to have an involvement with. You don't know that yet, but yeah, now it's official. We threw that out. That
now it will be after
apocalypse.
After apocalypse.
Right after the apocalypse is going to be so much reasonable that you're going to manipulate way more photos of mine, and
sure,
they're on the way. They're on the way, by the way.
Oh, cool. I will.
Do you have a favorite chapter? Can you tell us, out of like all of the stuff, because you do so much? Some of them are cyber, some of them are really like gore and dark, some of them are a little bit robotic. I'm sorry I'm talking about you, but I'm trying to kind of give the folks the idea of the direction that it has a super wide spectrum, just like rock dance theater. It's not just like one aesthetic, you know, it's kind of depends, you know, of what you dig at the moment, I guess. Can you talk about that a little bit?
You know, I'm going to be more biomechanical, because I'm combining, as you can see, swords with bodies and then up to weapons. My favorite subject is assassins, are assassins.
All right.
And as you can see behind me is my favorite Elisa, a model, great model, you know her. She sent me a lot of...
We can blow that up.
Okay.
Actually, like this, we can see the two monitors and the skulls. It's a pretty cool layout.
And basically, I love assassins, and the idea of assassin, you know, the silent. Hello, Mariana. And
hey, Mariana.
Silent killer, you know, coming from the dark, finish you in one moment and goodbye. So basically, I will make some assassins now, and then I will go more dark, more terror, more flesh, because I want to become more rotten. You know, because if you read the book, you will see I have another chapter that people are basically fixed up with machines, and the flesh is not combined well with the machines. Anyway. You will see. I'm not good in talking. I'm better in designing.
No, you're doing pretty well. I got to tell you, this is kind of like the stuttering
and excuse
thing,
me,
like...
because it's the first time that I talk live, and it's the first time that I appear on YouTube.
You're doing great. Don't worry. I think everyone is really appreciating, especially the fact that, you know, if someone is kind of behind the scenes, like as you say, you're always the guy behind the work. Like we see an outcome. What comes from, you know, your hands, from the clicking, the hours spent in front of the monitors, that comes off the top of your head, as you say, because the vision is born first there. But all of a sudden, you know, there is an actual person to put behind it, and I find it pretty cool.
And
you know,
you are to blame. You are to blame now, because I was hiding for so many years, and you came.
I know. And took the cape off. Well,
I hate you. Next manipulation, you will lose. You will lose.
To be honest, I am so famous for blowing shit up. This is why many people like me and many people hate me. It's either, you know, either or. There's no in between. And you know what? I figure if there's not a hole in it, might as well poke one in. It's just fun, you know, to kind of go in, things like that. And the devil is in the details, as they say. And for me, to be honest, it's always interesting. As I said before, I love to talk to people, period. Like a coffee moment pretty much is a part of what I do on a daily basis when I create my own works at Rock Dance Theater. It's this kind of hangout and also brainstorming of where the hell does it come from? Like, does your work, because you said that you know exactly what to do with a picture, with an image when you see it, but do the visions ever come up, let's say, in your dreams or in your sleep? Because I know I have that.
No, in dreams, no. I don't remember any of my dreams.
Okay, you are so lucky. Or not.
I don't know. Because, you know, I stay till late, and then when I sleep. See, thank you, man.
Dante, by the way, shout out to Dante. Thank you so much for joining our Rock Dance Theater stream with Argus today. He thinks you're doing great as well in front of the camera, and I guess with your work as well. Not remembering your dreams.
Anyway, so I scroll on photos, watching photos. Stop at one. Okay, boom. I have the idea. I know. But I spend a lot of hours to find the elements in order to make one photo. So basically, for one design, I spent about 8 to 12 hours to make it. Not because it's difficult, but because I want to find, for example, a sword. Okay, I don't have. Okay, I will make a photo. I will cut it, design it, clean it, use it. Okay, smokes. I don't have the smokes that I want. So okay, I light candles, photograph them, use them. I spend a lot of time to make one manipulation, and because I love it. Okay, I love it. I can spend all day sitting in front of the computer doing my design. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I guess it's what we can just name as passion, right? As love for what you do. It's just the hours don't count really. Like you sit on it, you spend as much as you need to until, well, it's good, whatever that means, or until you're satisfied that, you know, yeah, the world.
It's not satisfaction. It's sorry for our younger viewers. It's like orgasm. You know, when you finish something and said, "Whoa!" But there is a problem because the next design have to be better. And this is my worst problem.
Oh, really? Well, to be honest, welcome to the club. Because to be honest, someone once told me, like really back in the day, you know what? You're only as good as your next show, as your next performance. So don't get hooked on the notion that you're all cool right now, because it's about constantly reinventing yourself and getting better and learning. You know, I learn all the time, like in the sense of, let's say when I teach or when people give me feedback about a show or something, it's exactly the same thing, that you cannot stop. I figure the moment you're satisfied entirely, the moment you really want to say, okay, I'm done, that's it, this is what I've reached as a level, you might as well die. It's like there's nothing more. So thank you so much for the love. I cannot read Greek, man. How would you spell this guest's name?
Paraskevy agora. Paraskevy.
Paraskevy agora.
All right.
Close enough. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really cool having you. By the way, guys, if anyone wants to join us in the live stream, literally in the screen, to say hi, not saying in front of your keyboard, if you click over to that StreamYard link, we just bring you on. So yeah, if someone tried it and it doesn't work, please let us know and we'll try to figure out the details. This is a 101 beta Rock Dance Theater studio. You know, I was laughing like with you backstage before we went on, that before they invented internet, it was kind of a necessity to figure out how the hell do you send a telegram, and you know, people were using pencils and pens and stuff like that back in the day. Pencil. Right now, this is well,
remember the time we were sending letters.
And you used to steal them. At least that's what I used to do. Like, oh, cool pen, snag, and then you know.
When I was in a band, because I was playing the bass, as I told you before, we used to record cassette. You know, the tape, the old tape. Send it by mail to the other town, to the other guy, so he listened our riff, played the guitar, send it back. Damn, those were years. Yeah. And now, okay, let's play live.
Did you play like professionally or just for fun?
No, just for fun.
Because I did see a couple of instruments like behind you, just for fun. No, well, it should be fun, you know, like doesn't matter. I figure arts are the coolest kind of ways for self-expression, for making you happy, for making you entertained. But like first and foremost, to keep you out of trouble, you know. I don't know how you were as a 6-year-old kid, but I was a rebel. Oh my God, I was uncontrollable. And the fact that your parents brought you to a movie like that, I was raised in California, so all I was watching was pretty much early Disney, and then, you know, first Viva and MTV that, you know, kind of started off, but I was never kind of introduced directly, you know, to the gore. I was kind of kept, I don't want to say in a wonderland, but, you know, me being raised as a girl, my mom had to like kind of balance me out, I guess. But it is actually thanks to her as well. Thank you so much, Mom. You're not watching because you don't have internet and you decided to leave it that way. But it's amazing because my mom did come from a background where she did hardcore economics, you know, business relations, public relations, international exchange back then. That was like still Iron Curtain kind of times, you know, in the, I don't want to name a date because it was a while back, you know, like she says she's 30, so we're gonna keep it at that. And but she was an ice figure skater among others, so I guess it was her artistic kind of genes that also put me on spot of doing things. And since I was hyperactive, I was constantly moving and like freaking, you know, dry ice dancing in the hotel wherever we kind of went. She figured, oh, she gotta go to a class, you know, maybe not martial arts because she's gonna get killed, but something else to get off you know, the energy load. So
I wasn't terrible. My mother never showed me this movie. My father in secret. You know, when my mother was at work, my father said, okay, come, I will educate you. Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Pink Floyd, you know, Ozzy Osbourne, that kind of stuff. Okay, let's see a movie. Let's go to see Alien.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Did you hear the new Ozzy album, by the way, the solo album that he did, Ordinary Man?
Cool. No.
Ozzy Osbourne. He put out an album just recently, a month and a half, I think it was, like right around the time. Okay.
I will check it out.
I recommend it. Check it out. Like, to be honest, I cry at an Ozzy album. Funny enough, for me, of course they're dark, you know, and that's why we love Ozzy. That's why we love Sabbath.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's hardcorely so poetic, and it's sad, and it comes from that kind of insecurity, you know, that I think we all have, and because we all have doubts even about our work, you know. I don't know how much you kind of judge when is the time to stop, because where is the limit really when you work on a piece? I can tell you mine, but like,
this is difficult answer because
exactly.
I can never stop. I always find an error. I forced myself to stop. I guess, okay, stop. It's enough. Okay, it's perfect. But my dark side said, no, it's not. You can do something more.
Go on. You can do more.
Add something more. And sometimes I stop, and the other day I continue because I use not dream, but when I wake up, I say, no, it's not. Something is missing. And then, boom, the idea comes. But the design and music never ends.
I think it's somehow about this drive, right? That it's kind of organic. Well, to be honest, of course, you can put on as much hours as you humanly can. But I did notice that with myself as well, when I do my own projects, that I kind of really push it to the limit when I pass out of exhaustion, you know, until I finish a certain chapter, let's say a chapter in the sense early on, you know, the first idea kind of comes, and this pretty much falls back to the essence of Rock Dance Theater, that I didn't choose that. Number one, it kind of came upon me, you know, rock found me, and it was middle of the night, and then I just had to stick to it for like 7 hours straight, like just with the concept, just writing stuff down, throwing that all out before I passed out. And then of course the next step was going into the studio, super fast, in a nutshell, hooking up with the very first guitar player, Victor, that I started working with, and then riffing off of that, trying to connect choreography and partnering with the musician, and you know, working with the guitar between me picking up a guitar. So it's kind of weird. Where do you push yourself? Where do you say stop? I know I have troubles with saying stop to myself, because for me it's never enough, you know. It's this kind of greed of wanting more, or like being more, or doing more.
But
right?
you don't work alone, and this is more difficult because you have to communicate with other people. For example, talk to the bass player. No, you have to do it like that way. Talk to the singer. Talk to the other guitar player. So it's more difficult. I am alone, so I have to
actually
win myself.
Kind of yes and no, because I'm in Rock Dance Theater like a solo artist, a solo mastermind, if you will, because it all kind of comes from me, and the ideas is mine and the concepts are mine. But I never kind of say I delegate in the sense you're supposed to do this or that, because most of the time if I do a collab with someone, it's not a regular lineup of people, you know. They're kind of spread out in all places around the world, but at the same time it has always come down to a partnership kind of thing. It's like, listen, I have this idea, action, you know, and that it was always an immediate click an organic kind of connection. Then later you break down the details in rehearsal. How do you do this? Let's try this so that, number one, it fits the concept. It sounds good. It looks good. Whatever that means, good is not a category, but in the sense of, functionality that, yes, we're satisfied to put it out there. And then with feedback, of course, get better. So that, at the end, it's kind of not for us really, or not for me to judge what I do out there. I always say, you tell me what my work is about. That's why I love to ask questions, being the interviewer, like, for example, with you, because I really dig your work. I cannot say this enough. And you've done a fantastic manipulation on one of my previous performances. We've done Luna Negra Festival last year, and that's exactly where the pictures came up. And I think we got a pretty cool response with those. Man, it was like over 1,000, watches, clicks, likes, whatever these days. It was not bad.
It could be better if hashtags in Instagram worked, because they never do.
I think there are people in the digital marketing world that would so disagree with you right now. But,
no, they need money. They need money.
It could be always better. That's what it's about. But yeah, for people just tuning in, welcome into our Rock Dance Theater live stream meeting. We are having Argus Dorian, the Decaydead artist of darkness, today with us. And if anyone has a question that wants to ask either me, your humble host Anna, or Argus today, you get a chance, or just comment something, say hey. We're gonna shout that out. No one was brave enough to come on the show. That's hilarious. I do have a couple of small questions still before we do wrap this up, because I don't want to go over time. I don't want to spend too many minutes of people's work.
So
it's a Monday. It's a beginning to the brand new week. I hope everyone is having a fantastic time. But I wanted to bring up like two artists, one in the music world and one that also has something in common between us, even way back before we knew each other. Luis Royo.
Oh, Luis Royo.
Rings the bell, right? Not to name drop at all.
I have a print of him on my other wall. He's a great digital artist. When I saw his draws, I said, wow. I copy one, but I cannot show it now. I will make a story with it. I copy one when I was younger. I draw it by hand, and
nice.
He always influenced me, because those artists lead us and show us another way of thinking. Like Giger, like Luis Royo, they have a unique style that blow your mind, and you say, okay, there is something that I can also do for the world.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing, that there's always kind of a reason, I guess, every single one of us has that, to make the world a better place.
Exactly.
With the tools that we kind of have. And I've always kind of had that hidden message, if not many hidden messages. Some of my works are a little bit more shout out to the world about, ecology, or, this and that, or human relations and money affecting everything. That's also a weird concept. It was also quite dark. It was a solo that I did called Puissance d'Or, the power of gold. And it was about this creature developing, first living in a gold mine and digging up the gold and, getting as much as it could, and then transforming into this weird woman character, with jewelry and all dressed up and strong in her position. So in a way, I totally understand where you're coming from, that it is a message at the same time, and we can talk through our art. It's not necessarily like us, holding up a board like, please change, like, don't do dumb shit, as a statement. But actually we get to do that through what we do and with the language that we're available with.
The problem is that people judge very easy. They see an image, they hear music, and they say, oh, satanist, evil people. Okay. Oh, heavy metal, bad thing. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, he drew a naked woman.
I'm super glad.
Goodbye.
I'm super glad that you brought that up. Sorry to interrupt. Hey, Cora, by the way, thank you so much for joining us. Awesome having you inside. Cheers. I got to take a sip because I talk so much. I'm so dried out. Nothing better than a zip of black. Anyway, I'm super glad that you brought that up to slowly wrap up our discussion here, which is, by the way, super interesting. And I think we're going to do an episode 2 of this dark art, and we're going to continue. But before
I will
wrap
wear
this
another
up,
mask.
you need to redo your gear. I'm going to change my outfit as well. I promise. It's all going to be rehearsed and set.
Okay,
yeah,
pink.
but exactly, I could not agree more with what you said. With this preconception of, yeah, you're satanic, you're this, you're that. It's like, why label in the first place? You know,
Exactly.
Even off the top of my head, like I've been lucky enough and thankful enough to do something with the guys from Slipknot early in the year before this whole sea exploded and the world has gone out of whack. And it's exactly what they've been going through for so many years, with this preconcept notion of labeling, you're this or that.
Exactly.
To be honest, their work and their body of work is so wide spectrum that for me, it's not even death metal, it's not heavy metal, it's not rock, it's not this or that. Who cares? Like,
exactly. Why would that label?
To be honest, it doesn't matter how you name it, you know. It's about rather feeling it. It's about it affecting you. I say in Rock Dance Theater that you take your audience or people that you want to present your work to, you take them into your own reality. That's exactly it. You take them on a ride, and then it's supposed to do something to them. What it does, you never know, because we're all kind of similar and different as people at the same time. But I think that's what you do as well with your beautiful graphic design. You kind of shake them to the core, I'd say, because, you know.
And I sometimes make
it's not puppies and bunnies, that's for sure.
And I sometimes make stories, and if that talk about you need more education. This is the problem. We don't educate ourselves. We think that when we finish school, okay, it's over. We don't read books. Goodbye. I don't need to read books. No, we have constantly read books in order to educate ourselves, to understand the meaning, to understand what is happening in the world today. Because media feed us all the time with BS. They blind us. They want us to be sheep.
True.
And I try to send a message. Don't listen. Think. Because our parents taught us wrong, many things wrong. School taught us to obey. In order to talk, you have to raise your hand. If you don't allow me to talk, I won't be able to talk. We don't have freedom. In army, we also learn to hate each other. For example, I will be quick here. When I was in Greek army, they taught us to hate Turkish people. Why? We are the same. It's all politics. Okay, I don't want to discuss about politics and this stuff, but I just want to tell that we have to be more open-minded, to read more books, and to educate ourselves all the time. So when you see one image like this, don't say, oh, he's a Satanist, oh, he's an evil person. No, this is a message behind this. Read it. And if you don't understand it, comment, ask me, what is this?
Yeah. Exactly. Let's just discuss these things, you know, and not have an opinion on top of, you know, a notion without having any kind of context. It's glad that you brought that up as a point. I think it's cool to leave our viewers and listeners, because this is going to go on.
Yes, it will go
in a form of a
time.
podcast as well. You're going to be able, guys, to hear us talk and discuss these things. And whoa, it got pretty much quite serious, you know, like from the entertainment side of things into the actual body of the work. And like
now the serious talking started.
Now we're talking. This was a warm-up. No,
Next
but
episode.
we're gonna go and finish this in another episode, hopefully soon. And this is a very cool comment I think someone left. Education starts when we leave school.
Exactly,
Guys,
Steve. Exactly, Steve.
I can just tell you one thing. I was bailing out of school as much as I could ever since I can remember. My parents had all kinds of problems with me. I was all the time a rebel. But to be honest, at the same time, I think I turned out pretty much all right, you know, doing things my own way. And hey, don't get me mistaken. It's not like a recommendation at all. Disclaimer for that. Kids drop out of school and anything like that.
No.
I'll get a lawsuit. Stay there. It's your way to go as well. But for me, it didn't work. For me, it was finding my way at a very early age. Same like you, and hell, kind of following the trail of what I felt I needed to explore, and I needed to explore for myself because it was interesting. It felt it's developing me as a person, spiritually,
exactly,
intellectually, in any kind of way. Yeah, so that's kind of my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Exactly. And now that everybody has free time, don't waste it on TV. There's nothing to see.
The last comment of mine, Cora said, for us, cheers to that. And cheers. In other words, let's drink to that, guys.
And I guess good
By
night,
the way, I wanted to thank you so much, Argus, for you coming on. Again, for anyone that is joining in just literally now, this has been a live, real life art talk meeting, whatever meeting. I forgot the name of my own broadcast. Fantastic. But either way, if you want to click, subscribe, join, and follow what's happening with Rock Dance Theater and these episodes with our cool guests like Argus Dorian, Decaydead today. Thank you so much for having you on. Follow that guy, or I don't know which direction the comments are actually going from. So yeah, until the next episode, I will see you guys out there. Hope everyone stays safe and sane. And until the very next episode, thank you so much for tuning in.
Be creative, folks. Be creative.
Be creative. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night. Bye-bye.